Hey YouTube, and welcome back to another 4 Styles edit. This is the time of the week where I take a single image and edit it in 4 different styles. I thought this week I'd do something a little bit different with the edit. So all the previous edits until now have all been kind of a colour edit, so something blue, something warm, something a bit funky, and something black and white. So I thought it's time to play it up a little bit. We'll have a small change around, and this week I'm going to do 4 black and white edits. The mileage on that, or how far we'll get out of it, we'll soon see, but I'm hoping we'll get some really good pictures out of it, as always. The subject for this week is a photograph that I took all the way back in 2014 with my Nikon D3100 of Whitley Bay, St Mary's Lighthouse. So great little visit, and obviously a cracking little camera to take pictures with. Why I chose this image? Because I think it lends itself to black and white really well, just with the landscape, the white tower. But once again, we will see how it turns out. It might be good, it might be bad. So let's get on with the edits and see how they're going to go. So here we are. As I've already mentioned, this is going to be a black and white edit this time. So first image in, we will go straight to black and white for a change. So I'm going to have a monochromatic feel to these. We're going to play with some colours still and colour grading, but everyone's going to be a little bit different. So the first one, I think I'm going to bring that exposure down, and what I want to try and get is a dark, moody, really kind of gothic feel to the Lighthouse. Contrasts, we're going to bring those down a bit just to kind of give it a wash, I think, and then these highlights can come back again, and shadows just a touch. So I'm looking for the silhouette almost of the image, or the silhouette of a lighthouse. I don't want to go too far in the shadows with this one, and the backs. I just want to keep them quite low. Texture wise, let's give it a little bit more texture and a touch more clarity, but dehaze just ever so subtly. So something about this, it was taken with my D3100, and like I say, it's a great camera, but I think on the day that I took this, it's not too bad in terms of noise. There's a little bit in the clouds, but we're not looking too bad at all. Some kind of seagull poo on the box there. Lovely. So how are we doing so far? So like I said, this is going to moody. So don't mind, you see, taking those exposure down and the shadows, everything can come back up again. But I know that I'm going to be putting in a really aggressive curve with this one. So that's going to bring up some of our really darker black colours anyway. Let's go with those highlights. A little bit more. There we go. So kind of got that washed out look that I like. And then I'm going to put in the tiniest bit of blue in those shadows. So I could do the overkill, but if we take that down ever so subtly, and we do that before and after look on that blue. So it's not too much. I might actually go a little bit lower, but it's just enough just to be there, and for me that gives it a very eerie look, which I'm after. And I'm going to leave the rest of them for now. Sharpen and noise reduction for another time, but we are going to put a vignette in. I want to have that kind of old style image. Just change that midpoint a little bit, and there we go, image number 1. So let's have a look at that before. Let's have a look at the after. Let me know in the comments what you think, and we'll move on to image number 2. So straight away, black and white again, exposure on this one. Now what, let's see what happens. We go the other way, so we want to have the rocks really out in this one, but in contrast wise, so this is going to look really washed out for the moment, but I'm hoping we can bring a bit back in the highlights and the whites, and the shadows, we'll pull them down a little bit more. Again, exposure just a touch. Cool. And blacks as well. So before I go too far with this one, let's put in a linear gradient, I think. Leave the luminance age. Luminance. So not too much, but we are going to bring the exposure down just in the clouds, just to give a little bit of variance to them almost. And then I'm going to just do that again. Nope. Click wrong button, fat fingers. It's a problem. It's definitely a problem. There we go. And then just another touch more. Maybe too far. There we go. And we can actually bump the contrast up just in those top ones. Maybe as well actually in the other one. We can just get a bit more detail back in those clouds. Curve wise, I'm going to put in a tiny curve. Not too much, so if you look at the before and after without that curve, it's not much, but it's enough to kind of bring a bit more contrast in, so make those clouds a little bit darker. We've got a little bit more shadows on the lighthouse itself, so it's just those little more touches to it. For this one, I think I'm happy with it. I'm going to leave the colours, leave the tone curve, and I think I'll just leave this one as a flat image. So let's have a look. Before, there's the colour, there's the after, black and white, with a few tweaks. Okay, the third one. I want to try something a bit crazy with this, and this is not going to work the way I want it to, but yeah, it's going to be fun. So I'm going to go straight in. Actually, no, let's not go straight in. Let's bring that exposure really right down. Contrast wise. And I'm making like something similar to that first image, but not too aggressive on the curve. Okay, so we've got my dark lighthouse. And the thing I just wanted to try, and this is where it's going to look either very stupid or it's going to look awesome. And you can probably guess what I'm up to, because why not? Okay, that doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. I think I'm just going to bump that exposure up just a little bit more again. So I kind of want to give light around. We know there's no light because the light's not on, and if it was, it would be absolutely shining and beaming. But I just want to give that subtle effect, and it definitely draws the eye in that area. I'm going to go up with the clarity a little bit. And I'm going to give this one just more warmer tones in the highlights. Ooh, too far to the reds. There we go. Let's do the same as the first one. So we're going to give some shadows, some nice blue colours. And I'm still going to put on another vignette. It's just a quite dark image, but quite atmospheric. If you were taking a picture, you probably wouldn't want to edit like this, but this is what this is all about. It's about having fun, about playing. So I'll do the before, and we'll do the after. But also, if we compare it to that first image, which we based it on, you can see it's the same image, but we've got some very, very subtle differences that just change it up again. That's why I love doing this. It's just, you get that variety in image, get to see what works, get what doesn't work. And if you've never done it, I highly suggest trying it. Take an image, give it a few different edits, play around with it, come back a week later, play around with it a little bit more. It's fun. Okay. So, this one, take the temperature down a little bit. Exposure, we'll leave it where it is. Yeah, I'm going to bring the contrast down. So I'm trying to think, what else can I do that's What haven't I done? Blackwise. Let's have some fun again. So we're just going to kind of like put a really big linear gradient in the top right of here. For me, that's like simulating sun is shining down. And you see me do this with flower pictures and a few other things when I'm playing about. Let's have an inverse. Just on the bottom there. Okay, cool. Now let's play around a little bit more. Clarity, I'm going to soften that up a little bit, and dehaze, we're going to just bring that down. So dehaze, it's good for if you're like removing fog or any kind of haze you might have on your things. So if you're taking like a picture from far away, you've got thermal haze, etc. But it's also good for giving like a nice fog effect. And I'm bringing it down quite low, so I'm kind of giving this very fake appearance of fog. I think it works. You might not. Okay, there we go. Now, what colours would look interesting? I still think blue works. Like I like the blue tones that we get overall. Ooh. Just a touch, just there. What do you think? Yes? No? Maybe a little less. Yeah, let's just bring that blending down. Just a touch. Balance wise. More towards those blues, towards those shadows. Yeah, I'm liking that. Vignette. Got full. No. No, I'm not loving the vignette. I mean, I do like that it focuses the eye a lot more and gets rid of some of this clutter around. Never said it was the best shot of a lighthouse. It's the best edit of the lighthouse, though. Yeah, I'm enjoying that. I think that's good. So let's have a look at the before on that. Here we go, in all its colour glory. And this is what we get out at the end of it. What do you think? Good? Bad? Let me know in the comments what you think of the images today. I hope it's been a good example of what you can get out of a tiny camera. So the D31, you can still buy that camera. It's only like £64. Really, really beautiful little camera. And I'm still happy that I own mine. In terms of the images, let me know what you think. Which is your favourite? Put a comment below. Tag me. I'll definitely reply. And as usual, if you have liked the video today, please remember to like and subscribe. All the support helps, and it does make me happy to see the feedback that I get. And I'm going to put the images on the screen now for you to have a look at. So until next time, see you later all.